Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. My name is Hazeblade. I am a full-time content creator from Columbus, Ohio, just a neighbor to our folks here in Pittsburgh. And I am also a U.S. Navy veteran. Shout-outs to my air crewmen out there, past and present, hoo-yah. And I'm also the father of 2 amazing gamer children who are absolutely incredible, and hopefully will maybe be joining me up here on stage here in a few years. And I'm also not alone up here. I'm joined by 2 absolutely iconic speedrunners that not only have made a ton of impact in the GDQ scene, but really speedrunning as a whole. We have Maxylobes, my dear friend, and my new friend, Tomatoangus.
That's me.
And so we are going to be running Wuchang. This is a Souls-like game that came out last summer. It is an awesome game, fitting for awesome games so quick, of course, but an awesome game that really combines a lot of what's going on in the ARPG scene and layering Souls-like mechanics on top of it with a risk versus reward system completely built around it. It's very, very cool. Very honored and privileged to be able to show that to you today. So we're going to go ahead and hit new game. The timer will start after we skip the cutscene. We do have a load that we'll be waiting for, a load screen that is rather lengthy. And that is just because the RNG gods are cooking up nothing but the best for us. Right, chat? Right, everybody in the audience? We having a great time at AGDQ? All right. All right, the timer will start in 3, 2, 1, go.
Let's go. You got this.
All right, so we are off to the races here, and you'll notice right off of the bat that I am spamming the dash button. That is because you move really fast in this game when you dash. And there is a lot of parallels between this game, as I mentioned, ARPGs like Wuchang that have come out recently, as well as, believe it or not, Elden Ring, in the way that in and out of combat stamina regeneration work, among other things. So we're going to get to see a really, really cool game that I've just had an absolute blast learning and playing over these last several months. Of course, we're flying by all of the cutscenes and whatnot over in this direction. And we're going to open up this door and unlock our first checkpoint of the run. This game does have a fast travel system, so we'll need to grab a few of those as we carry on here. But normally we would go down the stairs and complete the tutorial, but very early on in this game's routing, it was actually found that you can skip almost half the game by coming over onto this wall and riding up the boxes before dashing across this field, dropping down onto this hill, and just like that, we have skipped all the way past Commander Honglan, and we are already in the mid-game.
Nice.
You need to briefly touch inside there so that way it will load the cave system here, and then dash off this ledge before riding the elevator after skipping past the cave section that's right here.
So we just skipped to like late mid-game, right? And you're still level 1, so what does that mean for us?
So that means that enemies in this area hit pretty hard. So optimal movement through these sections before enemies take too much notice, and just really avoiding damage in general is going to be kind of key. So we will be leveling up later in a pretty unique way. But we do need to access the later parts of the game for a couple of reasons. So obviously skipping anything in speedrunning is nice, but we actually do have to go back to the tutorial area later, and that is because in Wuchang, most of the systems that are related to building your character are unlocked in the tutorial. But because of just how important it is, this guy's just going to stare at us, by the way. He's just going to be like, what are you doing back there? Yeah, he's chilling. He'll drop aggro here in a second, but it's actually faster for us to just wait on this elevator than it is for us to quit out in terms of RTA. But normally when we're in a PB or world record setting, we would definitely want to quit out here since the timer does pause while we are in the menus.
Dude's not doing his job too well.
Yeah, I think somebody told him to stand guard, and like he's just failing at that
he's not
miserably
getting paid
right
enough
now.
whatsoever.
But yeah, so our stamina regeneration is a really important aspect of this game because of just how much time we save with the movement. So the item that I just menued to acquire, I picked up right before we did one of those drops. That's the Crimson Lantern Fruit. This item is a consumable. There are both orange and yellow lantern fruits. and they reduce our stamina consumption by 50%. The orange ones last 60 seconds, the yellow ones last 30 seconds, and we are gonna pick up pretty much every single one of those that is conveniently located along the path because we save about 7 seconds per minute, assuming that we get the most value out of that fruit by not spending time interacting with things, climbing ladders, etc. So this checkpoint that we're coming up to here, this is actually in the game a fork in the road that takes you to the 2 major mid-game bosses that you need to fight in order to reach the teleport to the end game, which is more or less a change of world state that makes the whole world catch fire. But we actually have a dev-intended skip here. Normally these sort of doors that we encounter where they give us a riddle, if you answer it correctly, you get a prize. But if you get it wrong, the devs thought it would be a great idea to just send you to some super chaotic place in the world. And this one actually takes us further ahead down one of those paths than just running there normally. So this actually helps us out quite a bit. We're gonna try not to die to fall damage on the way down. Very good, and then we're gonna go ahead and consume one of these fruits because we have quite a run ahead here, which I think would be a great time for a couple of donations.
My pleasure. First, a quick update on our bid war for ending choice, which will actually come up around the 35 or 40 minute mark, if I recall correctly. But presently, Successor of the Bow has had that lead narrowed just a little bit. It's $603.34 for a Successor to $480 for Jar Full of Medicine. So keep those donations coming in and towards the Super Mario World 11 Exit One-Handed Bonus Run, currently at $32,196 out of $60,000. Keep it up. We've got 15 Red Mercury in from Nico with a C. Happy to see this game get into GDQ. Was a fun time running it, and the competition was fun too. Good luck on the run, Hayes, and don't let Bomagus troll you. Smiley face.
Thank you, Nico. Nico is a phenomenal runner of this game. He is actually currently the world record holder. And recently, the devs actually hosted a bounty, and Nico won it. And well-deserved on his part. Like I said, he's phenomenal at this game. And he deserves a lot of love from you guys that are going to be Wuchang enjoyers after this run. The item that we just picked up is called Combo Ignition. It is an item called a Benediction. We call them bennies for short. And they are, think of them like jewel sockets that are on your weapon. There are 3 different shapes, and this will occupy one of those slots. And Combo Ignition gives us a damage boost whenever we do consecutive hits. And for this particular build, we are going to be rocking a fire build, and the build synergy is about to be kind of insane because, believe it or not, unlike most Souls-like games where you just skip around all over the place, grabbing all the upgrade mats and having a +9 or +10 weapon, we actually have to do this run at +0. So build synergy is crazy in this game, and believe it or not, the devs have actually accounted for you using multiple weapons at the same time during this run. And we actually only use the swift draw mechanic, is what that's called, where you're toggling weapon arts between different weapons. We only use it one time in the actual run because it gives us a little bit of hyper armor during roar attacks. Little minor skip here. Hopefully I don't get hit. Trying to get up this ledge without getting killed by those guys. Sometimes they'll catch you on the ladder, so we found that you can dash up that hill there and try to avoid them. But sometimes, because this game is very frame rate dependent in a few spots, sometimes you get stuck on that ledge. It can be a little bit annoying to get by, but looked like we turned out okay here. And just down the way here, Nenchi is going to roar at us, but we're not actually dealing with him until later. And we need to head into this cave. Inside this cave is a talisman that is going to improve our stamina regeneration and save us, I want to say it's about 30 seconds throughout the run. And there was a lot of debate when the game first came out about whether or not it was worth it to actually grab this pendant because of how far out of the way it is and the fact that we do come back here later to fight that other boss. There is a reason why I'm standing still, by the way. And he's just missing me. He's supposed to actually kill us here. And he is just, he's just loving it. He's just soaking up the GDQ stage hype right now. All right, there we go. So normally you would quit out here, but again, there's going to be many times during this run that because RTA is faster for GDQ purposes, we're going to take the death where needed and whatnot to save a little bit of time. But that's going to send us back to the checkpoint that we just grabbed. With that, we are ready to head back to the prior checkpoint to this one and start making our way in the direction of that other side of the fork in the road that I was telling you about. So each of these pathways, we're not only grabbing the checkpoint so we can come back later, but we're also grabbing build-defining items. So we have that talisman now. I'm going to go ahead and equip that now. A bit of tech that I could explain normally in a setting where I'm quitting out and actually able to demonstrate this is that you can actually do menus during load screens in this game. And so normally we would actually equip that while we're loading in after the quit out. But in this case, we can just equip it normally. And I'm going to try this skip once for you guys for style points, but if not, we do have save files as a backup for this run. Ooh, it's going to be close. Not quite. Not quite. So this skip is a pretty essential skip in the run. And a lot of that has to do with the fact that we are manipulating AI during this section. And the goal is to get it to where the enemies turn around at a specific interval so that they don't catch us on the ladders that we're going to be climbing soon. But since we do have a little bit of downtime here while we get the save file back up, we do have time for a couple donations.
I got you. $25 to Prevent Cancer Foundation from Cosmo that I'm going to read in the intent, I think, of how it's written. Wishing Hazeblade all the best on his run and hope one day we will prevent/cure cancer in humans. Good luck to all runners too. Love you all.
Thank you, Cosmo.
In the interest of reading things as written, here's what I'd like to propose. At 20 minutes during this run, $5, $10, $20, pick for what prizes you'd like to win and what fits your budget. Backwards donation train.
Oh.
Make it happen. I will read as many as I can. In the meantime, $5 from Kai. Hey, Hayes, just wishing you the best of luck, buddy. Glad to see the event so hyped in 2026.
Thank you, Kai. Appreciate it. You probably got time for one more.
Okay. Eric sending in a 25 Red Mercury. So excited to see some more Souls-like content on the GDQ stage. Good luck, Hazeblade.
All right, so this is where that AI manip normally happens, but this might get a little dicey because we're using a save file here. So he's turning around, and the idea is that we want him to turn around again, and hopefully that will delay his access to the ladder, which it does. He's really chilling right now. So that's good. And then our second AI manip is to give this guy a hug and then head over to the ladder. If you just beeline straight for the ladder, those guys will wake up and immediately start sprinting towards you, which we do not want. Getting hit on the ladder in any point of the run is pretty much a reset, so we don't want that to happen. We have a little bit of Red Mercury that we're going to be picking up over here. And now we are heading into Mount Zenwu. And over here, we have to make a minor detour, and that is because we are about to pick up the most powerful spell in the game. And I am not going to spoil for y'all how insanely cool this spell is. But I do want to give a shout out to my friend Trey D for finding out just how good this spell actually is. In his casual playthrough, he doesn't even speedrun this game. He was casually playing, and again, I won't spoil, but we'll be thinking of him when we finally get to use this.
Hayes, do you think we'd have a second to maybe talk about the endings that people are bidding between?
Oh, absolutely.
So the two endings that you're bidding are Successor of the Bow.
Correct.
And,
Successor of the Bow and a jar full of medicine.
Yeah. Do you turn into a jar of medicine in that one? Something like that?
Spoilers, man.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, so we can preview the endings a little bit. So with each ending, so for Successor of the Bow, for anyone who is familiar with Sekiro, consider that sort of the Shura ending. It's kind of the cop-out ending, but it is considered a secret ending. It takes a little bit longer than Shura to get, but it is an ending that does, so we're not actually just bidding on the ending cutscene that we're going to watch. We are actually bidding on the bosses that we're going to fight in the final few minutes of the run. So for the Successor of the Bow, we are going to be fighting this game's equivalent of Melania. And so if you enjoy those kinds of fights, we are going to be going that route. And that, like I said, is more of the cop-out ending, even though we have some cool fights there. Whereas if we go for the Jar Full of Medicine, that takes us along the normal route that we would take for the true ending. We do fight the true ending boss. However, it is actually considered a bad ending. Those bosses, they're also very cool. Maybe not on the same level as Melania-esque fights, but they are absolute cinema. So I am going to remain a neutral party and allow you fine folks that are donating towards the incentive to make an informed decision for yourselves. But you won't be disappointed either way.
Team Secrets versus Team Cinema.
Oh, yeah.
I'm Team Cinema, baby.
I'm kind of Team Cinema as well. I'm not
I got
gonna
that
lie.
letterboxed. You know I'm locked in for the cinema.
Okay, so we are going to pray for a brief moment here after I eat some fruit. Got to stay healthy here. We're going to dash behind here, quick stamina recharge, and hope that this dude has an accident. Yes, he does. Okay, so there's a bombardier that actually tries to shoot and blow you up, but if you dash into those explosive barrels at the right time, he just totally team kills his friend. And it gives us extra souls.
It gives you souls.
Safe strat right here, knocking these guys down. Normally you would YOLO this. Okay, that was close. Thank goodness that didn't kill us there. I did save file, but
That guy just didn't react at all.
normally you can collat them, but unfortunately that was not the case there. But we made it through, so that was good. That's a really dicey section if you're going for PBE, because you don't actually hit those guys. You just run through and just hope they don't catch you. And that item we just picked up actually saves a few seconds. There's a way that you can interact and grab that without having to go around for it. And that item bolsters our fire damage at the expense of physical damage. And as I mentioned earlier, we are running a fire build eventually. I promise eventually. Right now we're just in the setup phase like most Souls-like games have. But now we are back in the tutorial section. It is time to sort of go through the finishing touches and actually get this build online now that we have some stuff. So we're going to talk to this nice young man right here. And he is going to send us to everybody's favorite part of every Souls-like game, where the game just throws you at some boss that you are absolutely like hopeless against. And we're still level 1, so we are not going to try to fight this boss. We are going to allow him to claim our soul temporarily. But fortunately, we don't actually lose any of our stuff if we die here. But we do have to take out these enemies here. I don't know why they decided to make this an ad fight at the start, but here we are. And then while we're waiting, we're going to remove some of our armor, equip our spell and talisman, and then we also need to consume that red mercury so that way we can level up after this is over.
Oh, you're going to level to like level 3, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't get too many, so 3 back dashes, and then he's just going to go to town. That's the slow version of dying here, but that's okay. Normally, there's 2 punches that come after that rather than the water jet, but it's a little bit of RNG sometimes with this fight. And then we are going to do actually one of those in load screen menus right here, so you won't see it. Well, you'll see the second half of it, but you'll hear it. All right, and yes, we're gonna move up to level 3.
Yeah, just a couple, you know. Oh, well, wait a second. What are you doing?
Oh, you know, just duplicating my levels and getting to like level 120 something.
Hey, congratulations on your 11 red mercury essence, by the way.
Yeah, so this glitch is just bonkers. So essentially, when you open the prompt for the actual menu, it only checks if you have enough souls when it opens it, and after that, it kind of just lets you duplicate it as many times as you want. And yeah, so technically, if you really wanted to, you could go completely max level here, but we actually don't want to do that because we are targeting very specific health breakpoints on some of these fights that we're going to be doing. So every single level in this setup is 100% intended. Now, you can play a little bit with the stamina and the health if you want to be a little bit safe here. I'm not doing that, but you know, it's okay. We'll be A-okay. Couple more levels here, and we are now going to finish the tutorial area by heading down this way. We do have 2 bosses in this area that we need to take out. But as I mentioned earlier, build synergy is just so important in this game, and one of those is via the madness system. So I mentioned at the start of the run before we began that the madness systems and the way that you kind of assess risk and reward throughout the run, part of that is via this item that we got from the first boss, which is called Madness Incense. So on the lower left hand of the screen, you can see a silhouette of Wuchang that as I consume these essences, now it just filled up right there. So that is the Madness system in full effect. So each of those charges gives me 50% of my max capacity. And when that meter is filled, we lose all of our souls now on death, whereas before we were only losing a small percentage. And we're going to talk to this lady really quickly because if Successor of the Bow wins, she's actually the final boss, by the way. So we need to set that up just in case it wins. But by all means, again, I am remaining a neutral party here on which ending is the proper one. It's just that we need to do these triggers because of all the skips that we've done. We are very, very close to reaching the quest triggers to where she will actually despawn and we will fail the quest. So we wanted to leave the incentive open as long as possible. And so in order to do that, we still need to set up that ending and meet all of the quest flags in order to do so.
And just a quick update there, less than $120 separating our two options, with Successor of the Bow currently in the lead.
Come on, Team Cinema. Where you at?
So yes, the Madness system, the main perk of this, obviously, we don't necessarily want all of the downsides of it, but the major benefit is that we deal more damage at the expense of taking more damage. So that's one of the essential pieces and reasons for why we do it. We have our first actual boss of the run coming up here, and you'll see exactly why this is the tutorial. It's definitely not because I'm like level 120 right now.
Melted.
And so that boss was a humanoid. So you can break their poise with like an R2 attack and then backstab them, right?
Yeah, so pretty much any humanoid in this game, and they are with varying frame windows that you can do this. But yes, most, if not all humanoids in this game, if you do a fully charged heavy attack to their back, it will stun them automatically without having to build posture like you do in most games.
And that might be important for some of the bosses later.
Correct. We did just pick up a red tasseled spear. We are still going to be using a longsword for the majority of the run, but we are on the starting weapon currently. We'll be getting a slightly better longsword later, but that spear is going to be used for going out of bounds later. And then this right here, the Dark Frost Edge, is a spell sword that is going to give us some pretty gnarly passive buffs that will help us generate our main combat resource, which is called Skyborn Might. If you're familiar with Lies of P, it is the exact same thing as Fable.
Hey,
we want
do we
to
have a quick
generate
second
that.
for an update?
What's that?
Do we have a quick second for an update?
We are going into a boss fight, but right after that, absolutely.
You got it.
This is Dutanga. And hopefully we delete him. There goes the instant knockout situation there. We're going to free aim this. And then we're alternating R1s and weapon arts until he is done. There he goes.
Very nice.
You're A-okay on that update now.
Thank you so much. Just wanted to remind our viewers and everyone out there in the crowd that since we passed the 20-minute mark in our run, that $5, $10, and $20 donation train, or sorry, Niart Snoidenad straw cab, is leaving the station in whichever direction you choose. So head over to gdq.gg/donate and get that donation train going so we can continue. We've just passed $33,000 on that SMW 11 exit incentive. Keep the momentum rolling, chat.
All right, so after killing that boss, we unlocked the Temperance system, which I'll explain here shortly, but we do need to head over to the refugee camp, a checkpoint that we unlocked earlier, so that way we can talk to not Wuchang, the main character of the game, but everybody's favorite shady goblin merchant, Wuchang.
Gang.
But before we do that, we need to crush some more red mercury so we can actually afford what's going on in the shop. And he's not as iconic as the merchant from Resident Evil 4, but he does have something that we need. And that is another one of those benedictions that is going to help complement our build. And this one is Tri-Disciplinary Force. And so when we did the infinite level glitch, we picked up a ton of discipline skills. This gives us a combat attack rating boost, or an AR boost, simply for not even having to have them equipped, but just simply learning 3 discipline skills. Once again, contributing to the enormous amount of build synergy that is going to exist by the end of this run. And again, I promise you that I am remaining a neutral party here, but we do need another detour to talk to the red-clad lady once again, so that way we can keep the ending trigger remaining for the end boss, assuming that she is the end boss. We don't want to accidentally fail the quest, and then if that were to win, not be able to do it. So, but by all means, continue to get those donations in. And again, you can either go for this ending, which features this game's equivalent of Millennia, or you can go for the more cinematic ending, which is, trust me when I say it, pure cinema. And if you're enjoying the Wuchang run, that ending is also about 4 minutes longer, so we can keep this thing going just a little bit longer. We have some more leveling to do, as in this game, you can only level up the weapons that you actually own. So first and foremost, we already did the Temperance after Dutanga was gone, but we do need to slot in the Benediction that we bought from everybody's favorite shady goblin merchant, Wuchang. And then, of course, we need to go to the Impetus Repository and then go ahead and slot in our levels into the weapons that we just acquired during the tutorial. And then we want to make sure we equip Solar Leap so that way we can use that for a skip later. And we also, before I forget, because I do this all the time, even on PBN World Record attempts, we also need to make sure we level up our Temperance charges so that way we get 3 Temperance, which is the equivalent of Fire Grease in this game, given that we're doing a fire build. And then we are off to the Rebel Camp to fight our next boss.
Which boss is this coming up?
Oh, this is Ai Neng Chi, and he is the gatekeeper of this particular fork in the road for the mid-game. This side of the game is the Ferrum Swamp, where you would have to light 3 braziers before progressing to the next area, but we can actually bypass this by killing the boss that is in this area. This guy's not a boss, but he has the key to the boss room, and hopefully, there he goes. Okay, he was making me nervous. He didn't want to go from the fire damage there. So we do need to perfect dodge over top of that landmine, so that way it resets the decay of our Skyborn Mites. And now that we have the key from that guy, we can go ahead and open up this door. This was that path we took earlier to get the talisman at the start of the run. And this is why Lotus Soul Flame is the most powerful spell in the game. And there he goes.
Masterfully evaporated. Well done.
So is that working as intended? It's just supposed to nuke them like that?
I don't even know, to be honest. So there goes the drawbridge. We'll be able to progress there later, but we are going to do the other side of the mid-game first. And that is because it saves about 15 or 20 seconds to actually do the other side, even though the path that we're going to first is normally where casual players will end up second. But it is a little faster for us to do it this way first. But before we teleport there, I do need to, now that we got our actual weapon we're going to be using for the run, I need to move my bennies over to Flamebringer, our current weapon, and I need to slot a parry skill onto it before we then teleport over to the Zenwu Temple.
Time for a donation or two, or do you need to focus on your menuing?
Go ahead. We got time for one.
Alrighty. $100 from Mama Hayes to PCF. This is amazing that AGDQ is supporting the remarkable work being done by Prevent Cancer Foundation. Mama Hayes is incredibly proud that you are contributing your talents to the cause. Have a great run, Hazeblade.
Thank you, Mom. So in this section here, normally we would run through, but once again, faster RTA to just go ahead and take out, as I like to call them, the Banner Lords. And that is going to be a little tricky with the one that's up here, because the sole purpose of the absolute menaces up here is to knock us off the roof and get us to die to fall damage. So hopefully that doesn't happen. There we go. Okay, good. Oh, we collided him too. That's nice. All right, and then we're heading down this way, and then we also need to hope that this jar demon doesn't catch up to us before we make it to the ladder, which he doesn't. Okay, it's gonna be close. Oh! I hope that he gives up. Oh, thank goodness.
I hate jars.
It is so rare that that happens. Probably like a 1 in 20 runs that he actually catches up there. All right, so we do need to switch over to the spell sword here while we generate a little bit of Skyborn Might. One of the perks of getting the spell sword and leveling up the sort of first branch of that skill tree is that if we have it equipped over time, I want to say it's every 30 seconds, we generate 1 charge of Skyborn Might. And that is through a skill called Biding Time. And that also helps keep us topped off, so that way when we arrive at bosses, especially the bosses that we need to use that Lotus Soul Flame on, we have enough Skyborn Might in order to dispatch them. And unfortunately, I just decayed a charge here, which is unfortunate, but... Oh, this isn't good. Yeah, so you can try to YOLO the ladder. I need to try to back up here, because this is getting a little dangerous. Okay, I think we can take him out here. There we go. Okay, that was dicey. So I decayed a Skyborn Might charge there, which was rather uncool. And what happens in that situation, normally you can use one charge of that Skyborn Might in order to get an instantly fully charged heavy attack, which will stun him, and then we can just backstab him, and then he goes. But unfortunately, that did not happen here. All right, we are going to go ahead and make our way to arguably the biggest reset points in this entire run, which is the Zenwu skip. And Maxie, you're going to love this skip because like our friends over in the Resident Evil speedrunning community, which by the way, if you don't know, Maxie and I speedrun a lot of horror games, including Resident Evil. That's where I got my start as a speedrunner. And there is a lot of frame rate swapping in those games. Holy. And we're about to do that in this game too, so it's going to be a fun time. Quick safety strat here, so that way this guy doesn't catch up and just absolutely destroy us, while we also change the frame rate in the menu.
And then this skip is going to skip most of this area, including a boss fight, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. And that boss on any percent can be quite challenging. So here comes the 30 FPS swap. And again, if we fail this, I do have save files, so not a big deal.
My eyes, the 30 FPS, it burns.
The human eye can't see more than 24 FPS. It's fine.
I just played Bloodborne for the first time, so like I'm cool.
So this is a 6-part skip. So we may want to hold the applause till the end.
It's exactly as nerve-wracking as it sounds like, I can assure you from having seen this run before.
So first off, we need that spear for later. We got over the railing on the first try. That's great. That part of the skip has gone through many, many iterations. Next, we have to just hope that we get the setup so that way we can leap across this building. That looks really good. Nice. Woo! But wait, there's more. That's only step 2. All right, we do need to change the frame rate back right here, and we will be at 90 FPS for the rest of the run.
Oh, now we're talking.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes healed.
All right, this is probably the part I'm most nervous for right here. All right, we need to line up Wuchang's left foot with this broken shingle and sprint off the ledge, followed by a weapon art to line up the position. And then we need to inch her forward so that her right toe hits the grout of the tile that's in the shaded area on the right-hand side, and then do a spear leap in between the 2 posts on that railing, and we made it, thank goodness. But wait, there's more. That's only part 3, everyone. We are doing this with mouse and keyboard, by the way, because it's a little bit more precise. So I actually did have to hot swap on the fly. Next, we have to hope we don't slide off right here, which we didn't. That's good. We have to trigger a deload right here, so that way we remove the collision and get some stable ground on the other side of this. We have to also hope we don't slide off right here, which is good. Okay. Next, we have to come around and dash up over top of this rock, which sometimes you get stuck, and you can finagle with it to get up the rest of the way. There we go. But wait, there's more. We have one more piece of this coming up. And we're not going to celebrate early like I did at GDQ Hotfix a few weeks back. We're going to position Wuchang behind the post of this railing, dash forward this way, and hope that we land on top of the invisible wall, which we're just not getting right now, but that's okay. We'll get there eventually. Oh, man. Come on, Wuchang. You can do this. There we go. Not yet. Not yet. We don't celebrate yet.
Hey.
Now we celebrate. Okay.
Dude, you nailed it.
Absolutely incredible.
Nailed it.
5 out of 6 first time. Like, can we just match that first try button on the stream board
That
like
was
5 times? Absolutely incredible.
To master this skip is to master Wuchang.
Yeah, and Hayes was telling us, like, if you mess up certain parts of that, it could be like 2.5 minutes time lost. It's absolutely high stakes on many of those individual 6 parts.
Okay, we do need to get a perfect dodge on this cannonball. Perfect. That is once again to reset our decay timer. And I took a little bit of damage, so I am hoping that it is enough for me to survive this hit from the tiger. We are going to cast Lotus Soul Flame as soon as this cutscene is over and hope for the best. Okay, we do live. That's good. All right, we're playing safe strats on this particular fight. Oh no! That tail whip comes out of nowhere sometimes. So we'll go ahead and try it again. Once again, we do have the save file. So on these save files, they are prepared with an item called a plumed branch. And what those do is they automatically give us 5 charges of Skyborn Might. So that way we don't have to sit here waiting for 2.5 minutes to regenerate that Skyborn Might. So this fight is also yet another major reset point in the run, and that is because even though Lotus Soul Flame is one of the most powerful spells in the entire game, unfortunately, it is also frame rate dependent. So how much damage it deals completely depends on whether or not you have stable frame rate at the time of cast. And then, of course, you also have to pray that the tiger just behaves himself on top of that. So it can be sometimes a little frustrating having to get to the 25 or 30 minute mark in this run and just repeatedly reset to this location. Really toxic boss, really toxic skip.
Our damage on the boss may be dependent on certain circumstances, but the amount of impact that your donation to Prevent Cancer Foundation can make is not. The main thing that's dependent on is getting it in while there are amazing incentives and bid wars open like there are right now. So head over to gdq.gg/donate and make a difference.
That's good RNG right there. Good. Still
Nice.
another phase, though. Still another phase. We're going to heal up here and hope that we get good RNG. That's good RNG. We'll take it.
Nice.
We're going to double our one him as soon as he stops moving. Then once he rears back, we're going to cast Lotus Soul Flame again. Generate a little more Skyborn Might from those light attacks. 2 more weapon arts. And he's history.
Nice.
He heard you that first time. He's like, no tail whip? Sorry, boss.
Yeah, he is a much harder fight in phase 1 than phase 2, believe it or not. There's a little bit of RNG in what he can do, but for the most part, those attacks in phase 2 are fairly easy to avoid. And with that, we are officially in the boss rush phase of the run. We do have a couple of other items that we're going to grab as we sort of go through these remaining bosses in the run, but we do have time for probably 1 donation on the way to the next boss.
I've got you. Sensi celebrating $10 into PCF. Zen will skip first try in Marathon. What a run. Couldn't agree more.
Thank you, Sensi. Shoutouts to Sensi. Absolutely incredible Metal Gear Solid Delta speedrunner. And we'll probably be hyping him up here in a couple days when that MGS Delta speedrun arrives at AGDQ, which I will be couching, by the way. So
Yeah, another run in your repertoire, to speak to a man of many talents.
Indeed, indeed. I do actually officially hold the world record for the category that we are going to be seeing at AGDQ here in a few days. But Sensi holds the world record for the New Game Plus equivalent of that category, and he is phenomenal at that game. So shout outs to Sensi, and thank you for the donation. Really appreciate that. All right, we are coming up on the boss here in just a brief moment here. I'm trying to generate just a little bit of Skyborn Might on the way. We don't really need it for this fight, but you can never be too careful when it comes to these Souls-like games. They like to sneak really evil things on you in the process here. So we're gonna go ahead and switch here and just enjoy the dance that is this fight. I need not say anymore.
Once this blade served the Emperor, now it does for the blood of invaders. Such why wasted on rebellion? Serve the throne. Not
I missed the 1 cycle, but we should be okay. There he goes.
Nice.
while your foundation
Great job.
is solid.
Thank you.
Your trials are far.
We're gonna switch to the spell sword here so we can generate some Skyborn Might on the way to the next boss. And we have our final benediction that we're gonna be grabbing for the run coming up as well. This will be going in that 3rd socket. But while we're on the way there, we have time for 1 donation.
And 1 donation from a well-wisher out there in your community. Ancient Scribe sending in $7 to PCF. Happy to finally see Hazeblade on the GDQ stage once again after so many years. Here's to a good cause, and also tree skip is real.
Fun fact about that tree skip. So here's that benediction. I gotta really give a lot of credit to my good friend Distortion 2 for keeping this meme alive. But in the first week of routing the speedrun for this game, somebody came into the Discord and posted a skip for Zenwu Temple, where we had that really, really complex skip that actually works from the refugee camp and saves like 6 minutes. But they sent this video and then completely disappeared off the face of Discord, and nobody's seen them since. And we have tried for hours and hours and hours to figure out this skip, and we just can't seem to get it. But if anybody out there is in the mood for routing some speedrun stuff, check it out in the Discord. And if you find it, it's not officially a bounty, but I heard Distortion 2 said that he was going to give $100 to the first person that found it. So you can hit him up and confirm. But I heard it from the man himself.
I heard it was $1,000.
Whew. All right.
All right, so here's what I'm proposing. Find that skip during GDQ and make a donation to Prevent Cancer Foundation, eh?
Imagine the original guy donates. He's like, my bad.
Every once in a while, Dist will go in the Discord and like mention him and be like, "Hey, buddy, are you there?" Oh man, it's still going. It's still a good time. We're eating a lot of fruit and continuing to make our way to the next boss. Again, they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So we're gonna just keep eating those and open up some more donations.
You've got it. First, a couple of quick updates. 58% of the way towards our 11-exit one-handed bonus run. $35,171 out of the $60,000 we're looking for. Keep the momentum going there. And about to touch $67,000 for the marathon. Wanted to also let you know that the backwards donation train has reached the station. $25 in from Reto Yitu, who simply says, Strixnart, which is, of course, trans rights. Woo!
Okay, so during this section, there are a lot of enemies around, and you can kind of just hear how chaotic things are right now. And in a PB or world record environment, ever since we killed that previous boss, we are running on the same pool of resources from there all the way until we defeat Fang Ling, which is 2 bosses from now. So it's really important that we don't accidentally step on pressure plates or get hit by fans of knives and things like that, because we only get 3 flasks plus a free full heal. And that is it. And if having a +0 weapon isn't also an indication of just like how dangerous things can get in this run, yeah, only being able to heal like 20% of your health and only having 3 charges of that is very, very toxic.
Guy just rolled a bowler at you.
Yeah. Are we sure he's not Chris Redfield?
You have revenge.
Okay, we are getting close to a boss here. It's coming up fairly soon. We have 1 elevator before we get there. And I'm going to do a quick menu on the way down so that way we can set up our menuing for the rest of the run. We're going to switch back to the orange fruit, and we don't need the chisel anymore, so we can grab that dumpling, which is the full heal. And I'm going to just play it safe and wait for 1 more charge of Skyborn Might before we actually run in and do this boss. I'm also going to go ahead and heal.
So I was going to say that Successor of the Bow has kind of widened the gap. Then we got a $150 anonymous donation just now. Just beat Wuchang a few days ago finally. My vote's on Cinema. Underrated souls like next to Liza P for me. Cancer stinks.
Ooh, that positioning was tight. Those purple things would actually stagger me if I got hit by them, and I was right in between them. We need to get a stagger on her again so that way we can one-cycle her without a phase 2. There it is. We're going to take the riposte here, and we're going to follow up with 2 weapon arts, and she will be gone. There it goes.
Very nice.
I'm so happy that fight went well, because she is one of the 2, as what I would say, RNG heavy fights in this run. She's not as RNG heavy as Bo Magus if that ending gets chosen, but she can do a lot of different openers. And depending on what she does, really influences how that fight goes.
Just remembered, we haven't mentioned how you hold sprint out of riposts to get the early attack.
Yeah, so if you actually hold sprint and forward on after a riposte there, you can catch a slightly earlier R1 when you're going for that light attack right after the fact. I'm going to go ahead and grab the checkpoint right here and get all of my stuff back for safety. Normally, I would use a save file here, but if we do die to this skip, it's actually faster to just restart at the checkpoint than to load the save file. It saves us one load screen. And in order to get this skip, we're going to skip this entire cave section by just walking off the corner of this ledge and dashing off the side and not getting kicked off. There we go. And just like that, we skipped this entire cave, and we are mere steps away from the boss. And this is the final boss that we are going to defeat before the ending will be locked in for the incentive. So last chance to get those donations in.
$100 separates our choices. Just a few more minutes at gdq.gg/donate, or use the Twitch charity tool in your browser if you're watching on Twitch.
Team Secrets or Team Cinema?
All right, flame on here right before the fall. This is Fang Ling, my favorite fight in the game personally, and if you love Sekiro, you're gonna love this.
Yo, my sister.
Oh no, she did the toxic attack. My dodge was just a little bit off. That's okay though, that's okay.
After you gassed her up too, that's crazy.
There's the parry. All right, here comes phase 2, and if we could get an audio technician in the back to turn the music up in the game real quick. This OST is sick. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Round of applause for the audio techs for cranking that up. Oh, yeah. This game has a phenomenal OST. This one just takes the cake, though. We do need to quit out here so that way the fine young gentleman that's going to teleport us to the end game will appear before us. But this is time to go ahead and close out the incentive and let us know what ending we got.
Okay, we're closing it down now. We're going to have just a minute for any last-second donations. If you are currently donating, you should be able to do that. So we'll give it just another moment. And with a big last-minute snipe, it's Jar Full of Medicine.
Yo, Cinema.
The cinema, let's go. All right. So when we load in here, just to draw some comparisons, we'll explain the other ending briefly, but we do have to wait for Madness Descends to go away, and in the meantime, we can use this ancient chisel we got. I believe this one comes from the Tiger. This allows us to equip bennies without being at a shrine. So we can do that during the downtime because we can't talk to him while the Madness Descends logo is on the screen. And this is now what is going to change the world state. So the Tiger and Fang Ling were the two mid-game triggers that we needed to beat to get to the Warship's Rise in Ruins. And if we were going for the Bo Magus ending, we would talk to the old man right there, who he's apparently like in the lore, he's actually like a god. And he's like having us do his bidding, and we basically just tell him, no, we're not gonna do that. And then we just do what he asked us to do anyway for some reason. He's like, yeah, kill this lady. And we're like, yeah, no, we're not gonna kill her, but then we kill her and then we get, it's very confusing, but you know, it's fine, it's fine. We don't have to talk to him anyways with this ending, but we are gonna eat some more fruit because staying healthy is very important for peak performance at AGDQ.
I'm gonna do what you said, but not because you told me to.
Also, I need to equip the spell sword so we can start generating Skyborn Might on the way to the Emperor Dragon, one of the two cinematic fights that we're going to be experiencing. And on the way, we have time for probably one donation.
You've got it. $250 in from Dr. Phineas. to Prevent Cancer Foundation simply saying, cinema. And that was our deciding donation in the ending for this Hazeblade
All
run.
right. So that bridge of like fleshy mass that we just crossed, that's taking us to this ending. But if we had gone uphill instead, that's the path that would take us to the successor of the bow ending. So quite literally, forks in the road is kind of the theme of how the routes and everything are built in this game. Some really cool enemy designs that we get to see in the end game here. Lore-wise, there is just all-out war happening in this world. And things have kind of reached a turning point to where we are now heading back to where we started the game, back at the Reverent Temple. And we are going to see through the facade that is the entire hook, line, and sinker of the start of this game. So this door was normally shut earlier, and we are now unlocking that. He was some random NPC that we ran by at the start of the game. Very little significance to the actual speedrun, but he is trying to defend the temple.
At least wait till you're out of earshot before calling him not of significance.
He might run me down before the boss. And then this is Honglan's wife. That's Honglan is the Melania equivalent. That's her wife. If you can actually, after you defeat Honglan, if you give her Honglan's pouch, she gets upset. Naturally.
Yeah, right. I think I'd be upset too.
One of the many quests in this game. So this is the hill that we started the run in. We didn't get to see much of this hill because I just used gravity to my advantage to skip most of it. But this is the cave that we started in the first seconds of the run, and now the facade, the walls have come down, and we see this place for what it really is. A terrifying dungeon housing the Emperor Dragon. We do need to try to farm one charge of Skyborn Might here off of the enemy that is guarding the boss. Okay, he doesn't normally roar like that, but we did get our charge of Skyborn Might, so you know what, I'll take it. We stalled for just enough time that it worked out. Okay, he doesn't normally leap like that. That's a little strange, but that's okay. Good news is that he's going to phase 2. We do have a very important audio cue that I need in this phase in order to set up the one cycle. So we're going to remain quiet here for a moment. There it is. There's the audio cue. We're going for the Lotus Soul Flame here. He's down. We're going for a little bit of farming of Skyborn Might. And we are going to completely ego his nuke here and finish him off.
Nice.
Very tight audio cue on that. You have to, that nuke will pretty much, you can survive it, but it does a ton of damage, and we need to make sure that we have exactly enough time to cast Lotus Soul Flame before he does his Wombo combo. And if he does that combo, it only takes 1 to 2 hits to kill us, and the chances of us being able to get a Lotus Soul Flame off in that time is very, very slim. We have the Spell Sword equipped here because we do have a little bit of a run on the way to the final boss. And during that time, I think we have room for some donations.
My pleasure. It's become that time. It is time for backwards donation reading. A $20 donation with no name on the donor, but the message Q et fo noitanad dinases, which is to say second donation of the week. Thank you so much. And $25 in from Siai, strict snart, or trans rights, of course. Time for more?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. $100 from Belmoli. Shrenner ted lach oth eteve et no kul dug. Tat no ni teg atoge. Tu switch az si zirep yad frist et. I can't translate that whole thing so quickly, but I know there was something about wanting to win a Switch 2 prize in there, which is an excellent reminder that when you donate, you can put in for prizes. Donations that go towards single block prizes are for minimum amounts, and then there are also our cumulative donations for prizes like that Nintendo Switch 2.
So in this final area here, I'm going to go ahead and equip these flowers. And that is because this little lake that's in the area, the lake area that's in the middle here is full of corruption. And if we get afflicted with that, we're going to take ticking damage over time. And we don't want that to happen. So I am going to try via optimal movement to avoid getting afflicted. But if I accidentally do get the unfortunate circumstance, we will be ready to respond. We picked those up. The item that we picked up right before we dropped down to Fangling, that was 2 of those flowers. So should give us an okay opportunity, but there's a lot of really heavy-hitting enemies here. So not only do we have to avoid getting afflicted with corruption, but we also have to not get hit by those guys. And these things are just absolute abominations of enemies. I don't think I've ever had it where we got a red mercury item off of them killing each other there. I think that's new to me in all the practice that I've done. But I don't. To be fair, though, I also don't normally do this ending because this is the slower of the 2 endings. But it sounds like you guys wanted just a little bit more Wuchang from what I understood. So. Making our way across the lake of rot, right?
This place looks miserable.
Every Soulsborne's got to have one.
Yep.
We were at 99% on that affliction there. That was so close.
Just hanging out in the Miyazaki swamps.
Oh, yeah. Heavy inspiration. We can actually dash out of the animation for holding up those discs. And while we get teleported back to where we held them up in the first place, it does save a very, very short amount of time, given that we would normally have to dash later out of it after the cutscene.
Oh my gosh, it's almost time.
It's almost time.
Oh. Never played this game. The cinematic part made me want to play it. Like
I know. It's so funny because every game or every time I show this game to somebody, just the aesthetic of this game is so appealing that it just makes people want to play it. And even mechanically, it's such a phenomenal game. We are on a down patch, by the way, but the current patch version of the game is also very, very smooth and a lot of quality of life changes that aren't present in this run, like being able to respawn right next to boss rooms and whatnot. Very, very good stuff. Here's the cinema right here. Beautiful, beautiful level design by Lindsay.
Good job, Team Cinema. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Hey, just one quick thing as we march towards the end here. We've got $5 to PCF from the Haze Brothers. Looking great up there.
We may hit 1 decay of Skyborn Might on the way in. I am going to wait to make sure that we are full on Skyborn Might. Actually, we may have a plumed branch. I might be able to avoid that. Yes, I can. No, we don't. Just kidding. We used it earlier. So we have to wait on the regeneration of the Skyborn Might, and then we can go into the final boss. And so yeah, this is the final boss, and the time after this boss goes down won't be when his health reaches 0, but when we interact with the gate following his death. So it does take 30 seconds per charge, so we have a couple of seconds here, but once we get that charge, we are straight into the fight. There it is. We go ahead and switch weapons, flame on, and here we go. They have to suck us through the door first and really build up the drama as we're getting into it. And this is the part where we find out that the NPC that's been helping us this whole time is actually the final boss.
Classic.
Good, perfect dodge there. We have full Skyborn Might, which is a great place to be in right after this phase transition. We're going to go stand underneath this little root-looking thing over here. And as soon as he flaps his wings one more time, we're going to flame on one more time there, and let's see what attack we get. We got the long one, but that's okay. We're gonna dodge forward, back, charge the spell, generate a little more Skyborn Might, and he's history. And here comes time in 3, 2, 1, time.
GG's.
Amazing. Amazing.
Thank you. Now, y'all clutched out this ending, so we'll watch the cutscene while we do the outro here. But I do want to thank AGDQ very much for having me. It has been 6 years since I've been on stage at GDQ. My last run was Resident Evil 2 Remake at the 2019 GDQX. And Maxie was actually on the couch for that run.
I was, yeah.
And so it is an absolute honor and a privilege to be back. Thank you so much, GDQ, for having me again. And I want to give a shout out to the couch, tomatoangus,
Thank you.
and Maxylobes.
Thanks for having us.
And I also want to give a shout out to my kids at home. My kids, like I said, they're absolutely awesome. It is an honor, and I'm so blessed to be their dad, and that they've been inspired by me to do gaming as well. And another special shout out as well to my absolutely beautiful fiance, who is in the audience live with us, and we are celebrating 10 years together tomorrow. And as I mentioned at the very beginning, I am a full-time creator. I create content on Twitch and YouTube. You can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Hazeblade and at Hazeblade TV on YouTube and all social media. I make shorts that kind of does shock value. This is how speedrunners do boss fights and glitches and tech and stuff. And Tomato also does that in long-form content as well, explains speedruns. And this has been a really awesome collab, so thank you for joining me for that.
Thank
that
you
was
for
really
having
cool.
me. It's been a blast.
Thank you. So this is the part of the run, of course, where we find out that we got the bad ending and we royally messed up because we didn't do the main quest. And this guy turned us into a jar full of medicine to do his bidding in future time loop multiverse cycles of craziness.
Funniest thing I've ever seen. Turned them into a jar of medicine.
All right, well, that is it for me. So thank you all so much. Hope you guys enjoyed Wuchang, and I will see you next time.